Maya Pereira had stopped believing in beautiful things. Not in the polished, glamorous way people posted online. Not in the meet-cute under the rain kind of love her university friends had married into. And certainly not in herself. At 28, the Sri Lankan-born travel historian had spent the last 3 years in Greece guiding exhausted tourists through ancient ruins while quietly feeling like one herself. "On your left," she muttered into the microphone. The Temple of Hephaestus, one of the best preserved examples of classical Greek architecture. Nobody listened. A retired British couple argued about sunscreen. A teenager live-streamed himself pretending to fall off a marble step. Someone in the back loudly opened chips. Maya inhaled slowly. Another miserable tour. Then the bus stopped outside a hillside cafe near Delphi, and everything changed. He stepped in wearing a black linen shirt rolled to the elbows, dark sunglasses, and the kind of calm confidence that made rooms quieter without effort. "Sorry," he said in accented English. "Am I late?" The driver nodded. "New replacement translator." The man bowed politely toward Maya. Kang Min-jun. Korean. Tall. Ridiculously handsome. And irritatingly composed. Maya forced a professional smile. "Take any seat." He sat beside the window near the middle of the bus. Unlike everyone else, he listened as she spoke again. Actually listened. When she explained how ruins carried stories of lost civilizations, his eyes lingered on her instead of the scenery. "You speak like you love history," he said later during lunch. "I used to." "Used to?" Maya shrugged. "Turns out passion doesn't pay rent." Min-jun smiled faintly. "Still, you sound alive when you talk." Nobody had told her that in years. For the first time all summer, Maya stumbled over her words. The tour moved south toward the islands. White buildings spilled over cliffs like cascading paint. The sea glowed sapphire beneath the afternoon sun. Couples wandered narrow streets holding hands while musicians played soft bouzouki melodies in hidden taverns. Maya tried very hard not to notice Min-jun. Unfortunately, Min-jun made that impossible. He carried elderly passengers' bags without being asked. He translated for confused tourists with patient warmth. He bought local pastries for everyone after hearing Maya mention she hadn't eaten breakfast. "Why are you being so nice?" she finally asked. He tilted his head. "Should I stop?" "That's not what I mean." "Then maybe you're not used to kindness." The words hit harder than she expected. That evening, the group attended a cliffside dinner overlooking the caldera. Wind brushed through Maya's dark curls as she stood alone near the railing. Below them, waves crashed softly against volcanic rock. "You always disappear during parties?" Min-jun asked, joining her. "I prefer quiet." "I noticed." For a while, they simply watched the sunset melt orange into violet. Then he asked softly, "Who hurt you?" Maya laughed once under her breath. "That obvious?" "Only to someone who knows." She looked at him then. Really looked. Behind his gentle smile was loneliness. "What about you?" she asked. "My fiancé left 2 months before our wedding." Her chest tightened. "I'm sorry." She said, "I loved work more than people." He looked out at the sea. Maybe she was right. The silence between them became intimate instead of awkward. Warm. Safe. When the wind turned colder, Maya shivered slightly. Without hesitation, Min-jun removed his jacket and draped it over her shoulders. His fingers brushed her neck for only a second. Still, her heartbeat betrayed her instantly. Athens after midnight felt ancient and alive. The group had retired to the hotel, but Maya couldn't sleep. Restlessness pulled her through narrow lanternlit streets until she reached a tiny rooftop cafe overlooking the Acropolis, and found Min-jun already there. "Are you following me?" she asked. "Maybe fate is." She rolled her eyes but smiled anyway. Over coffee and wine, conversation came easily. Childhood stories, failed relationships, dreams they abandoned too early. Maya admitted she once wanted to become a writer. "You still can," Min-jun said. "No. That version of me disappeared." "I don't think so." His voice had become dangerously gentle. A breeze lifted loose strands of her hair across her face. Without thinking, he tucked them behind her ear. The touch lingered. So did the silence after. Maya's breath caught as his gaze dropped briefly to her lips. "Min-jun." "I know," he whispered. But neither moved away. When he kissed her, it was slow and tentative at first, as if asking permission. Maya answered by pulling him closer. The city lights blurred around them. His hand rested carefully against her waist while her fingers curled into his shirt. The kiss deepened with restrained hunger, full of weeks of tension neither had acknowledged aloud. She felt desired. Not observed. Not judged. Desired. By the time they pulled apart, both were breathless. That, Maya whispered shakily, was a mistake. Min-jun smiled against her forehead. Then why are you smiling? She hated that he noticed everything. Rain trapped the group overnight on a smaller island. The hotel lost electricity after midnight, leaving the corridors dim and quiet beneath candlelight. Maya stood outside Min-jun's room for nearly 2 full minutes before knocking. When he opened the door, surprise flickered across his face before softening into something warmer. You okay? No, she admitted honestly. That honesty changed everything. The storm thundered outside while they sat together on the edge of the bed talking in whispers. Vulnerability peeled away piece by piece. Maya confessed how abandoned she'd felt after sacrificing her ambitions for people who never stayed. Min-jun admitted he feared being emotionally inadequate, that maybe everyone eventually found him impossible to love completely. You're wrong, Maya said softly. His eyes searched hers carefully. Am I? She kissed him before answering. This time there was nothing hesitant about it. Months of loneliness collided all at once. His hands cradled her face with aching tenderness while she climbed into his lap, their foreheads pressed together between kisses. The intimacy unfolded slowly. Heated touches, trembling breaths, whispered confessions in the dark. Every movement carried emotion rather than urgency. He treated her like something precious, and Maya realized that frightened her more than heartbreak ever had. Afterward, they lay tangled beneath thin hotel sheets while rain softened outside. Min-jun brushed his thumb over her shoulder. I don't want this to become a memory, he murmured. Maya closed her eyes because part of her already feared losing him. The final stop of the tour was at Meteora. Stone monasteries towered impossibly above the cliffs, suspended between earth and sky. Maya watched the tourists wander ahead while anxiety quietly consumed her. The tour would end tomorrow. So would whatever this was. Min-jun approached her carefully. You've been avoiding me all morning. I'm being realistic. About. You live in Seoul. I live nowhere permanently. Vacation feelings don't survive real life. His expression hardened slightly. Is that what you think this is? Maya crossed her arms defensively. Isn't it? For the first time since meeting him, Min-jun looked angry. I spent years in relationships where nobody truly saw me, he said quietly. Then I meet someone who does, and she's already planning the goodbye. Emotion tightened her throat. You don't understand. No, Maya. You don't. He stepped closer. You think love ruins people because you only remember the endings. His voice softened. But maybe some things are worth risking anyway. Tears blurred her vision before she could stop them. Min-jun wiped one gently away. I'm terrified too, he admitted. But I still want you. No one had ever chosen her so clearly before. Maya broke then, emotionally, beautifully, and kissed him beneath the shadow of ancient stone while wind roared around them. For once, the ruins did not feel broken. They felt eternal. 6 months later, cherry blossoms drifted through the streets of Seoul. Maya stood outside a publishing office clutching her first completed manuscript with shaking hands. You're nervous, Min-jun teased beside her. You forced me to submit it. I encouraged you. You emotionally manipulated me with love. He laughed. A full warm sound she had grown addicted to. Life had not become magically perfect. They argued sometimes. Long-distance months had been painful. Maya still struggled with insecurity, and Min-jun still overworked himself. But they stayed. That was the difference. That night, after celebrating her publishing contract, they walked beside the Han River beneath glowing city lights. You know, Maya said softly, I used to think ruins were sad. Min-jun intertwined his fingers with hers. And now, she leaned against him. I think they prove something survived. He kissed her slowly under the drifting blossoms while the city shimmered around them. Alive, unfinished, and full of possibility. And for the first time in years, Maya no longer felt ruined at all. Stay tuned to watch more Korean brown love stories. Subscribe, comment, and share.